Microsoft Excel, Blue Box 23. We can write some complex calculations for Excel to do and check to see if the condition holds given what we've done. And so if the condition holds, then we'll go ahead and change the formatting to whatever conditional formatting we select. Let me show you what we actually are going to try to target to do out here on a helper section. This is not a part of the assignment. You don't need to do it. But we're going to look at this calculation, I9 divided by, and then we'll come down here and click on the $18,886.37. Notice that that is a decimal, right? And normally when we want to create percentages, if we were trying to create a percentage from a decimal, we would multiply that by 100. In Excel, we never ever multiply our decimals by 100. Instead, we just ask Excel to show the decimal in a style that's the percent style. So notice in this particular case, it'll go ahead and convert that. Also, I'll remind you that while Excel is showing 21% for me in that cell, it really is holding the true value of that calculation, not the 21%, whenever we need to make any sort of calculations or decisions based on that value. I'm going to go ahead and undo what I did, but I just want you to recognize that aspect. We're going to come down here and compare it to the value for our benchmark, which is going to be our golf equipment target of 13.5. So right now you can see we've hit the benchmark. So whatever we're going to ask the conditional formatting to do, it's going to hold true and actually do the formatting. So let me undo that. We don't need anything in that column. Instead, what I'm going to do is activate I9. As I activate I9, I'm going to come to conditional formatting. I'm going to try to highlight something, and I'm going to choose more rules. As I choose more rules, you'll notice that what I need to do is not really listed in the dialog box that appears in the settings that we can change. However, there is a drop-down box here that allows me to switch to use a formula to determine which cells to format. And that's exactly what we're going to do. I now have to tell Excel what calculation we're going to do in here. And because it's a calculation that I'm going to start with an equal sign. So the equal sign says, let's take I9. We're going to divide by the grand total that we have down here in I27. And we're going to check to see, is that greater than or equal to? Notice we don't have a symbol that's greater than or equal to a single symbol for that. So we use the greater than sign followed by the equal sign, which is logical given that's the way we say it, greater than or equal to. And we're going to come down to the benchmark cell value of 13.5 that we see in C36. Once we've done that, if that holds, which we know because we did the calculation out on the side just to see what it was doing, we're going to change it and show the text as bold and green. Sometimes the formatting that we want does not automatically show up, so we're going to come down to custom format. You'll see that there's a variety of different ways in which we could change the format if the condition holds. We change the way the numbers displayed. We could change the font, the border, the fill. For us, we're just going to change the font. We're going to make it bold, and we're going to change the color to green. As you can see, there's a lot of greens on here. And I have to be honest with you. If somebody just asked you to do this, you might have the ability to select the green that you like. However, since Pearson is grading it, it's going to look for a very specific green. And if we hover over top of all these colors, there's only one that's going to be called simply green. It's the darker one in the standard colors. If you hover over top of it, it'll show you green. So now we have bold and green. And when I hit OK multiple times and get to where we have submitted this as our conditional formatting, you'll notice the conditional format better actually show up. So when I hit OK, it in fact does. In the last exercise, when we were working with the icon sets, we noticed we could just use the format painter to recreate the same exact rule and then make a quick edit. This one's a little more complex. Maybe in our mind, we think, given the complexity, we'd like to just do it from scratch every time to make sure that we don't make any mistakes. So we're going to have a similar text to see if we meet our clothing benchmark. So conditional formatting, highlight cells, go to more rules. Have to tell it that we're going to do it based on a formula. And the formula is going to be very similar that we had before, except it's based now on the percentage of the clothing sales. So it's based on the value of I-14 relative to the total. So in the box that's going to have the formula that I need to write, since it's a calculation, we start with an equal sign, equals I-14 divided by I-27 again. So it's the same, it's the new subtotal divided by the grand total. And we're going to test to see, is that greater than or equal to the appropriate benchmark? The appropriate benchmark for the clothing target is listed down here in C37. So if we did that calculation, it's greater than or equal to 11.5%, then we're going to want to change it to be green and bold. So I go to custom format. Under font, I choose bold. Under color, I'm going to choose green. Exactly the same thing that we had last time, and go ahead and hit OK and OK again. It must be that we'd have to convince ourselves that we did not hit the target in this instance. Okay. And I think we're fairly close, but I think we missed the target. We'll do conditional formatting one more time. Same exact process for the consumables. The consumables target is right here at 3%. All right, so again, conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, more rules. Tell it it's a formula. The formula is going to check to see if equals, click on I-18 divided by I-27. We're going to check to see if that calculation is greater than or equal to the 3% that we see down here in C38. If it is, we're going to come down to the custom format, make it bold, and make it green. Hit OK, and hit OK. So that one must have been more than 3% of the sales. So you can see now we can use icon sets where we define which icon gets displayed when. We can just look for top and bottom rules. In this case, we altered the top 10 and bottom 10 to top 1 and bottom 1. We can set the conditional formatting based upon the value, looking at it compared to another value. So what's in the cell? Is it negative, less than 0? And we formatted it red in that case. We can choose the default coloring that they give us, or we can go deeper into the settings in the custom format, change the number, the font, the border, and the fill of the cell.